Should you fix your data before launching any AI project? Today, I'm sitting with Joe to discuss about data quality and whether or not we should actually work a lot on preparing the data, like set up like all the good quality into your data sets before launching anything related to AI. So the reason why we're asking the question is like there is a sort of common belief, I don't know, you will tell me if you agree with this, that you need to have like the perfect data sets before setting up everything. And I think it's changing a bit. The reason why I'm saying that is like we used to have, so both of us when we worked in like what we can call traditional AI, obviously the quality of the data had to be quite perfect. It was really like the garbage in, garbage out. And now that we are into this generative AI world, do you think this has changed? Do you think we can be a bit less strict about the quality of the data, or is it still like one of the key requirements to launch any projects?
Yeah, thanks, Margot. First off, thanks for having me and sharing that topic. It's a very important topic, and I'm very passionate about it. So I'm really happy to be here and discuss it with you. And I know you have an amazing experience around that as well. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts. But yeah, absolutely. I think if we look at where we're coming from, I mean, data teams spent days fixing the data, transforming the data, trying to make it workable for their use cases, and that's not really the best use of engineering talent, is it? And also now, when you talk to organizations or business users about let's launch AI, the first barrier that they will put up is, but we need to fix our data. So now we're going to launch a months-long project to clean the data. But I mean, data in itself is a living asset, right? So it's like being on a boat that's taking in water, and you're with a bucket trying to empty the water from the boat rather than plugging the holes. Now, how do you plug the holes? Maybe that's data governance, maybe another topic for another day. But yeah, I think it's not about cleaning the data before starting. Definitely the garbage in, the garbage out situation still exists, even in the AI era. But it's more about understanding the state of your data and going from there. So having like an audit, if you want.
Because I always use this example, but like when we used to do like, let's say we take a chatbot, you build a chatbot, you're a bank and you build a chatbot. And before like the very basic chatbot, it was like I give the information A and the model will give B, because it's like when I give A, you need to give B. If I don't give exactly A, then I don't know what to answer, And now that generative AI actually like helps generating answers that are not exactly the one that have been put in the data, etc. Kind of think it's a bit, we can be a bit less strict about not the quality of the data point itself, but probably the quality of the format. Like you may have like evolving template and it still fits. So I think this is something that we need to take into account when like advising client or when thinking about ourselves launching any AI project. And I actually have this discussion with a lot of people that are like, okay, I'm actually not AI ready because, as you said, not all my templates are perfect. Not all my like I don't have like a storage with everything inside, etc. And usually my answer is like, okay, you need some basics. And we can talk about this. You need to have, obviously, the quality of the data point needs to be there. Yep. Otherwise, the output is going to be bad. Like it's just going to be wrong. But you can't wait until it's perfect. Otherwise, you will never launch anything. That's the thing as well. So usually what I say is like, just start somewhere and make sure you check the quality of the output, etc. And then you will iterate and the quality will get better and better. True. But I don't think we should wait until it's fully perfect and the templates are set, etc., until we launch something. Otherwise, we just don't go, right?
Agreed. And I think you said something important about I am ready or I'm not ready. My data. Actually, we say everyone's ready for AI today, but not my data. And it's funny, and it's similar to. I remember when I was just married and we were planning to start a family. I'm like, am I ready to be? We're never ready to be, right? But you still got to jump.
Nice comparison.
You got to jump, right? You got to make the jump and then fix it as you go. Learn as you go, right? No one's born a parent. Same with AI, and I think now as you mentioned, the paradigm has changed. When you look at data quality, before we look at those 6 dimensions, timeliness, completeness, unicity, and so on. But today, it's the data quality, or let's say data fit for purpose definition, is much broader with AI and Gen AI. There's much more creativity as well. So the models are more creative. it can complete incomplete data, for example, right? And by the way, there's a topic that we don't talk enough is synthetic data. That I think that's a great concept as well that could help in this case. But just going back, we're going from the traditional world of, let's say, data analytics, in a deterministic world, and now we're moving to a probabilistic, or I mean, it's not like BI is going to disappear. Analytics and descriptive analysis will always remain. But when you move into the AI space, you're much more on the probabilistic aspect. So it's not the same definitions, it's not the same concepts that apply in AI than in the traditional world.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it very differently. Context, for example, huge. It's one of the key aspects. How does your data today provide enough context for your models?
Yeah, that's very true. And maybe that should be the focus, actually, making sure you provide the right context. And just jumping on what you said about the time that the team used to spend on the data cleaning, actually, or at least the data like identification of the data, getting the data, cleaning the data. When I was back in the consulting, sometimes we were like starting the project on the first day, and after 4 months we still didn't have the data. The data was not there, so then you can't actually like provide the tool that we have discussed. And we still have this challenge with AI. Obviously, AI is not magic, but there are a few things.
The backbone of data is the backbone of AI is data.
Actually data. Yeah, of course. But I think it's one thing that is changing as well is that AI makes it actually easier for us to clean data.
Absolutely.
So there is a way to use AI to, like, for example, flag properly the data, etc. So we can as well use AI to prepare data for AI use cases. So I think that's something we can look into. We can look into as well. And but just taking a bit of a step back, I know we've discussed it a bit earlier, but this data quality thing in this region, if we focus on the GCC region, because we have both working here for almost 10 years, there is this, I don't think we were mastering traditional AI in the companies in the GCC, let's say 2-3 years ago. So the basics are not here. I'm generalizing a bit, but in most of the companies, the basics are not here. So the quality is not there, which is a bit different than other countries that were a bit more mature in data and traditional AI before. So for them, the shift to generative AI is a bit easier. But still, I mean, I would like to pick your brain on this. Do you think it's a huge gap and we need to still go to, okay, you still need to have your clean data to set up the right data framework, etc. And then you can actually set up your Gen AI use cases? Or can we use AI to make it faster? Is it an issue for us in this region? Do we still have that much bad quality data?
Yeah.
Or how would you tackle this?
You just gave me an idea for a new episode about,
oh, yeah?
Are you ready for data, or is your organization ready for data? I think we should have this one. But there's no shortcuts, right? I don't think there are shortcuts. And I was at the AI festival a few weeks ago, and the Dubai AI festival a few weeks ago. I mean, the energy, the innovation, the announcements, the scale of how things are going. Definitely, the region is preparing for the AI boom adoption. They want to lead it. They want to play a global role in it. So, and this, honestly, it's impressive. It's impressive. Now, and what's also, I mean, the vision behind the vision of the leaders in the region to see it coming and see the role that it's going to play and wanting to be part of it is also to salute there. But and they don't want to miss that train. And I think it makes total sense. Yet, of course, organizations might be different, and might be different in the private sector. It's like, because it's a disruptive. Well, it was disruptive. The release of ChatGPT, I think I forgot I don't have the exact figure in mind. But if you compare the adoption of ChatGPT to when the iPhone came out and previous technologies that were disruptive, the time span is way shorter to scale the way it did. So it took everyone by storm. And then suddenly, and AI is not new. We've been doing AI, but the analytical AI, forecasting demand, supervised and unsupervised training, all that, we've been doing that for a while. But again, with hitting the same barriers and the same challenges. Today, I think those challenges are even now times 10, right? Because Gen AI is even more disruptive. It changes the operations. It's going to be transformative. And it goes way beyond just analytical. So we got to take care of the foundation. I think the whole region needs to work on the foundation. There are no shortcuts. You cannot build a roof if you don't have walls or pillars. And you got to start there. And it's reassuring because more and more now people are coming to us either asking for a data quality audit because they understand that they have challenges in their data, but they haven't looked at it at scale. So looking for root cause analysis, looking for a quality assessment, identifying their use cases and seeing if their data is fit for purpose. So that's great. And second, more and more we have people coming to us now and saying we need to work on governance, which is a whole topic, I think, by itself, but it goes hand in hand, right? The audit then dovetails into a proper governance, which is the practices, and to make sure your boat doesn't take more water, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's good. And that's a very good sign. I think it's a positive sign.
Yeah.
Towards the right direction.
Yeah. So it's I mean, to answer the first question, that is like, should you fix your data? Obviously, the answer is yes. But I think I mean, for many reasons. For example, when I train people about like ethics, I will always like warn them about like the bias in the data. So it's the same at our own scale. If your data is biased, if your data, the context is not there, as you were saying, then your output is gonna be biased. But still, I don't think we should wait until this is perfect to start actually training and building.
Not let perfect be the enemy of good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's key. So yeah, I mean, if we sum up a bit, like I think the conviction will be that like the cleaner your data is, the better, obviously, the outcome of the model will be. You will be able to trust a bit more. I mean, not a bit more, but you will be able to trust actually the model way more. So there is a lot of accuracy, trust as well. The model itself will be more performing. There is as well, obviously, like it will help you like save cost. You will have a better lifespan of the model itself. I don't know if you can think about other things that I was thinking about as well. Reduce bias, we said it. So I think it's a no-brainer to go this way and to be aware that before it was maybe a bit easier to identify when the quality of the data was not there.
Exactly.
Because, as you were saying, when you look at BI, if the data is wrong in your sales Excel, then it's going to be wrong on the dashboard and you can see it. But now that the way, I'm going to try to simplify it, but the way like AI treats your data to actually come up with an outcome that is not obviously, that is inspired and created from what you gave him or gave it.
Exactly.
But still the outcome, it's maybe a little bit less difficult, a bit less easy, to identify if it's right or wrong. So it gives another reason to actually make sure that whatever you fit the model with is at least correct in terms of, as again, like correctness is key. We don't really care about the format, but the correctness is to be there even more than before.
Sure. No, you're totally right. And I mean, in Gen AI, it's generating content based from the data you're feeding it. So if you're feeding it white supremacist or racist data, then what do you expect to come out of it, right? And that didn't apply on a dashboard in the BI world, right?
Exactly.
You feed it wrong figures, it will show you wrong figures.
Yeah.
And why data quality and having the right data for the right output, and it's not even just the quality right anymore. It's really the right data that is fit for that output that you're looking for, is important because, bottom line, the other side, you want your stakeholders to adopt and use.
Yeah.
And one of the number one reasons even data projects, analytical projects failed was because of I don't trust that output.
Of course.
I don't trust that model. And we've tried it with analytical AI, we've tried it with BI. If they do not trust, it will fail. So make sure whatever you're using as raw material, which is technically the data, make sure it's the right one. Even if it's not perfect in a clean
shape,
way,
actually.
in the shape, and all that, but because the outliers, depending on your use case, are useful for your for your model. So just make sure it's the right fit and gives you the right outcome and output.
So what is your, if we think about processes, like you have a company coming to you and they're like, okay, I want to do AI, which is not a debate because the debate about like, I want to do AI and why should you actually implement AI? But if you forget about the reason, they want to build a certain model and worried about their data quality. In a few words or bullet points, like what will be your key recommendation? Where should we start? Should they start by auditing or cleansing, or like what will be your key recommendation to start?
Yeah. Start with the output. So what is that use case you're trying to achieve, right? What's the use case you're working on? Then audit your data, understand it. And so don't boil the ocean, right? Kind of really focus and narrow it down to the use you're trying to do. So identify the use case, audit the data for that use case. Define a preparation plan so that you can work the data towards what you're trying to achieve, and iterate.
Yeah.
So start small and iterate, add more data, increase the scope of the data preparation. But yeah, start small, start focus, don't boil the ocean, focus on the outcome, and link the data to your use case always.
Yeah, and to your business KPIs.
100%.
Clear. So if we had to sum up, I would say, obviously quality is so important in order to build like AI use cases, but maybe not for the reason that we used to have for in traditional AI.
That's correct.
So basically for me, traditional AI, you had to have a focus on like making sure the format of the data was correct. And of course the data itself, but the format was super important. And now with Gen AI, I guess the format is a bit less important, but the correctness of the data in order to make, is key, because the model may be biased. You won't be able, to trust the outcome, etc. Yeah. So I would say, focus on really the correctness of the points themselves, maybe less about the format, and add as much context as you can. And start, because if you wait until the data is perfect, you're never going to get there.
You're never going to start.
And I think you need to start small, iterate, try, make sure always that you check and you check and you check if the outcome is correct. And that would be my advice.
Absolutely. And like I said, I think in the last podcast, take care of your data.
Yeah.
Take care of the metadata today, everything you described, the metadata, so the tagging, the labeling, the profiling.
Which AI can help you with, by the way.
Which AI can help as well now. So it's a different world.
Yeah.
It's a different world.
Okay. Thank you, Joe, for this conversation.
Thank you, Margot. It was a pleasure.